We are live. Good morning. Happy Monday.
Monday. Hope you all got good rest during the weekend. Let's talk about what we have planned for today, and if we have already done some work, let's talk about that. I'll start with the top right corner with Madi being the first one.
Hello team, and happy Monday. Okay, so actually I didn't do much because of the issue we had with production, and what the issue is that when we call the attributes and labels endpoint, because there is a lot of LLM calls and process, the app goes down and does not respond. So I
In
think the
production
solution
or is in dev?
in dev.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think we need to do some, maybe change the code or make the processes less so it does not get down. Yeah, so that's from my
But this is even after having 16 cores.
exactly. Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, then I'll make that my priority, but so that we have a code by tomorrow morning.
Uh, I actually scheduled shared working session, but I think it's too early for them. So need to change the time. I schedule, let me see.
7:30 a.m.
In my time, so Delhi. Delhi.
Can we do
Um,
8 a.m. or 8:30? 7:30 is a bit early.
Actually, I would like to know which time works better for them, so we can have it daily.
Okay. Nice job, Money. I think we have an
Yeah, I think
engineering.
an hour after you've scheduled right now, that would be
Okay.
for me, like 8:30. I don't know about the pickup, but 8:30 and above works for
Right
me.
now it's okay. Right now it's 7:30, right?
Yeah, right now it's 7:30.
Okay, I will schedule this. Okay, from 5 p.m.
Nice, guys. Madi, thank you for doing that. Thank you for for helping. I think we have an engineering sprint planning either I think later today, so we can start assigning some larger tasks to them. So, Bod, if you want to help with that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Deepika and Pragna, our priority is getting dev cut to prod and getting kind of like a. We don't need to add new features right now. Everyone wants to add new features. We're not in the market for new features right now. Right now we're in the market for, monitoring, stability, well-defined interfaces, documentation, just kind of like, just like a week or two of like implementing best practices slowly and deliberately so that we can develop with more velocity in 2 weeks. Right now, our
Okay.
development velocity is a little bit slow because we have a lot of we don't have a well-typed interface. Therefore, changing the core usually results in a lot of changes needing to be made to like downstream and upstream. So we are now locking all of our interfaces so that we can develop at a much faster pace.
Okay.
I think so. As Mahdi Sabo, does that sound more or less right?
That sounds right to me, yeah.
And Sabo, do you think we're ready to lock our interfaces?
The conjoint, yes, that's already there. The concept, Deepika is working. I'm not sure if she will be able to show something today, but she did share the screenshot over the weekend with me, so it does look quite a good. Uh, I'll leave that up to Deepika.
Nice.
Well, I did, but then again, I was working and I broke something. I mean, some of the containers I can't open right now, but I can show whatever I've done.
Okay.
Deepika, 2 steps forward, 1 step back is our motto. So you're in good company.
Okay, thank you, Madi. Let's go to Eric next.
Hey everyone, can you hear me?
Yes.
You guys hear me? Yes. Okay, because I've been having trouble with internet and mic. So we had a meeting this morning with Petroman, brought them back to the table. They're in the middle of rolling out about 1,000 convenience gas stations in India over the next 5 years. By the end of this year, we want to go from 17 convenience stores to 150. So we're right at the beginning with them, growing with them. So we're positioning ourselves to be a key player in their growth. I'm creating a revenue impact model for them, and then we're coming back with advisory services, and at that point, we will identify costs. I mean, we know who the leaders are. We don't know the budget. We did find a sense of urgency, so there is a time. We know the authority. We know the need is they have to identify what they're looking for and the budget. Got a call this morning at 6:30 from Saatchi and Saatchi, the big company here in New York. He apologized at a quick pitch that got in the way of our meeting. Has already sent me new dates, so they're very serious. Large integrated marketing, new dates he's already sent me. I sent it over to Pablo. We're going to confirm and get this guy into our meeting. I spent Sunday going over our website. I had a client from Celent, which is like a Bain, and he went on the website and he was a little confused. I mean, I think it says what we do, but he wrote back, "I'm not sure what you do. Can you get me more information?" I went back on the site and I spent a couple of hours sort of trying to come up with most creative ways that's going to use the pivotal words that's going to grab people when they jump on the site. So I sent that to Avi, Michelle, Pablo. Suggestions, take it or leave it. But again, it's not like we're going to live and die, but it does help. And as I like to sort of say, like I think of myself as like used car salesman in the sense you come into the lot, I'm going to show you the cars. It will suck if the car engine doesn't come on, right? It's like, or if something small deters, because it takes a lot of effort to drive these people to our site. People are extremely busy right now, and so I'd like to keep that in mind.
Yeah, I saw that, Eric. Thank you. I will make some of those changes. Anything that can make our website simpler and make our clarity, increase our clarity is welcome.
Yes. We are not dealing with data scientists. We're dealing with, people who have a liberal arts degree, became CMOs, they control huge budgets, don't know what causal, they don't know, I want to save that for the insights people. Avi, I did send out an email to a reporter at AdWork who wrote an article on how AI and marketing. He wrote an article about 2 years ago, and I pitched him and I CC'd you on next level of if he wanted to follow up on that article. So he wrote this article. Now we are 2 years later. Here we are. I think it would be a great profile for him. It would be a great kick in the arm for us. So I said, look, you should, here's the pitch. And anyway, it's CC'd if you wanted to see what that looked like. I think right now that's what I got. Oh, and I tried to make the dinner. I should have taken my motorcycle, just to throw that out. I was on my way to Manhattan, driving in the car. I have a motorcycle, which I could have zipped through traffic on the motorcycle. Dipka, did you make the dinner? Yep.
Yes, we met for dinner on Friday.
You did. Okay. Anyway, next time.
Eric, I'm glad you were safe.
Thanks.
Thank you for being safe. Of course, the salesperson has a motorcycle. It's very on brand.
Of course. It very much so. This is being recorded for the public. Yes, I have. And it was a beautiful day. And I could have, I was sitting in the traffic, but I was like, oh, if I had the bike, I would have been like, hey.
We will do another dinner. We're onboarding another salesperson. That dinner will be important for you to show up to. Safely.
Absolutely. Just give me. Yes, looking forward to it.
Okay, thank you. Let's go to Avi next.
I spent the weekend making travel plans for Toronto and for the Endless Frontier Labs and the Creative Destruction Labs. I started writing some blog posts, which I didn't get out, which I really need help with. I really want to make that more of a discipline. I also did an interview Friday night with the Princeton Alumni Angels group. So we are going to be pitching either tonight or tomorrow night, which is exciting. We're one of 4 companies this quarter. And then I worked on the new deck. Pablo, I'd like your eyes on that too. I'm trying to make it just quite a bit simpler and more streamlined, and I'm going to start distributing that really today. So what I'm going to do between today and Wednesday is I'm going to post about the partnership with Wharton, the partnership with Endless Frontier, or the acceptance to Endless Frontier, the acceptance to Creative Destruction. And so I hope that will kick off some positive momentum for us.
Okay, thank you. Let's go to Michelle next.
Hey, good morning, everyone. So let's see, not a ton updates since Friday, but I did spend a decent amount of time this weekend doing some work. I binge listened to the Evidenza podcast, and that was really interesting. I still have a few more episodes to go, but it's been, sorry?
No, I was just excited. I was excited to hear what you learned.
No, I'm learning a few new things, and it's really spurring my mind regarding a lot of new use cases for Subconscious. So I've started making a long list of use cases for the platform that are beyond what we're currently using or marketing. So I'm super excited about that. I think some of them need to be tested out to see if they really will work or not. But it's been great. So I'll keep you posted as I learn more about that. One of the things that was interesting about the Evidenza podcast is that I learned that they're really focused on the B2B market. They're not focused on B2C.
Right.
And their reasoning for that is because, B2B is typically a lot harder to reach, the respondents, which, is true. I'm currently running that study on Listen Labs, and I've filled all of the slots of 15 people except for people that make over 150,000, and not a single person has taken the survey, or it's not a survey, it's a qual interview. So It's really emphasizing to me, the importance of, using synthetic respondents, moving into the future, and the need for it. So, blog article to come on that soon. um, yeah. So that's been really fun. Highly recommend that podcast. It's very entertaining. They use a lot of like dramatic elements and stuff. So it's unusual, unlike anything I've ever heard.
Do you watch them on YouTube? They're really good on YouTube.
Oh, I wanted to, but I've been just listening on like, the Apple podcast, streaming, but they talk about what they're going to, what they look like. They're all dressed up and things like that. And so I've been trying to find it on YouTube, but I can't find like the one where they actually are like, doing the podcast. But I'll have to check it out because they wear costumes. So,
They do. Yeah, I think they might chop it up into shorts. They post a lot of shorts. It's good content. What do you
yeah.
think the like one or two big use cases we should be attacking that we're not attacking?
Let me look at my list. I thought that category entry points was a really strong one that they were talking about. And that's where like, okay, let's say when you think of like drinking beer on, on an island, what brand do you think about? Anybody? You think of a brand of beer if you're drinking beer on an island, tropical island?
Corona.
There you go. So, they're positioning themselves as the entry point is you're on vacation, and you're chilling out, you're relaxing, you're having fun. So that's the time when you think about Corona. So there's other category entry points, like, let me think of another example. Okay, when do you think about, well, since we're on the alcohol theme, when do you think about drinking a champagne? It's like a birthday celebration or, Valentine's Day or something like that. So I think that's something that could be really powerful for brands is to, think about that point of entry and prioritize it. So, what is the most important point when people might be thinking about your brand? Or you want them to think about your brand. So I think that Subconscious could prioritize, those entry points for a marketing strategy. So I think that's really strong. I think I want to start testing that out. What else? I think one of the other things that stuck out to me was like. Well, I don't know if maybe that might be hard to talk about. I think the concept testing is huge, so like as soon as that's accessible, I think that's going to be really big, like to test out like brand recognition, brand attribution, things like that. So that's really big. There's more things too, but I need to kind of get my head around them before I talk about them. But yeah, so that's really interesting and fun. Let's see. I also did spend a little bit of time, Eric. I saw your email about the webpage hero section. Well, I brought up the hero section part, but great ideas for trying to bring more clarity to that. And it kind of dawned on me that I think Subconscious really has multiple stakeholders and audiences. So the potential might be there to have like potentially it could be in the future because it's a little more complex, but having two different or several different pages that are focused on the specific persona you're trying to reach. So if you're trying to reach CMOs, here's the message you need to be speaking. If you're trying to reach academic, professors, you need to have a different message for them. So I did some research over the weekend. I did some deep research with AI, and then I also did subconscious research as well on some different value propositions for CMOs to see like which ones would rank higher. So I have like a study run on that and some ideas and sort of one headline that I think could be powerful, but I just want to spend a little bit more time like fine tuning it a little bit before I send it over to y'all. So So yeah, so did that. And let's see, I roughed out a case study for Signs of Justice that I've been working on for a while. I got some good data on that. I'm just waiting now for the my contact with that to get back with me to confirm, like, am I on track? Like, do we need to like follow up with any other experiments to make sure it's the data that he needs? But it's been very fascinating because we're looking at their brand voice and their brand tone and trying to help them define that strategy. So very
And
interesting stuff.
have we been successful? Is that a case study showing us successful in that?
I think so. I mean, based on what I'm seeing, it's clearly showing like what humans, or what the AI digital twins would prefer, as far as what kinds of posts they would share and what would resonate more with them. So I think that the data is clear about what kind of message, and tone they need to use, that they need to keep it like focused on being helpful and hopeful, and we're all in this together kind of messaging, as opposed to like fear-based messaging or that kind of thing. So now I need that to connect with him and make sure that he's seeing it the way that I see it, but yeah, but I think that's a really strong case. And then, the idea is to take that whole case study like one step further and actually tie it to actual real world results where they change their messaging and they get a lift in their engagement and shares, which leads to sales for them. So yeah. So I think there's like two phases of that case study. One, we could potentially like get out pretty soon, where we just talk about defining their brand voice. And then a second phase where they get out to market and, actually test it out. So yeah. Other than that, just need to really work on my webinar plan. So that'll be a heavy focus this week. So that's it for me.
Let's go to Pablo next.
Okay, good morning, guys. So this morning started with joining Eric and Subodh on this Petroman opportunity. Hopefully we can get the Saatchi meeting scheduled. I know, Eric, you're going to do some good work in rescheduling that one. Last week we had also connected with a friend of mine from Frog. She's going to be meeting this week to see how we can position that subconscious in front of them. Yeah, we'll see how that lands. Also have a follow-up meeting with Erin today to, I think, now starting to build out the case study with her. She is a paying customer. We are going to, Subodh, reschedule the meeting with Bernard, right? So that it's at a more ideal time for you. So look forward to your follow-up email to get that in the books for Tuesday, the 16th. I think he wants to move quickly on things, so the sooner the better. And then, yeah, happy to ingest Avi, the deck that you have, and provide commentary if you can share the link. I'm happy to lean in and kind of share the perspective. I know there's a lot that is right now happening on those circles, so we should empower you with having a good deck in place. Yeah. I also have a demo with Jared Meltzer on Thursday. I believe he is the one associated with a sports marketing agency. So they do like a lot of like brand marketing. That's it. So Avi, you mentioned there's a new salesperson joining in. Is that Noah?
Yes, but it's not confirmed yet. I told him I would send him an offer last week and I didn't, so I need to. But yeah,
He's
yeah. What?
he
Sorry.
seemed very he seemed very enthusiastic.
Yeah, I'm enthusiastic about him. Subodh, I'd like you to meet him actually. Either Subodh, you or Mahdi or Tatavik, one of you guys. I'd like one of you guys to meet him.
Sure.
Just to make just because I don't want to make decisions without everybody. But yeah, I like him.
I mean, if possible, if you write an email CCing us, and then from there I'll basically say let's set a time.
Yes, sir. I'll do that.
Let's go to Subodh next.
I haven't done anything. I was out Thursday and Friday. We came back today afternoon, so I haven't done much. Probably gonna get started more from tomorrow onwards. In bits and pieces, I have done quite a few things. So yeah, I think this week I should aim for getting them integrated in the dev, like the Databricks endpoint with the image. Also, last week itself, I sort of rewrote the attributes endpoint, the Perplexity one, really short one. It takes like 20 seconds. So maybe just do some more modification and try to get that thing integrated by tomorrow alongside Mahdi. So yeah, that is it for me at the moment.
So what are we? So I've been talking to a couple of. I've started talking to some investors. I'm always talking to investors, and they always talk about our differentiator, all this stuff, and how are we different. And my claim, or what I've been saying that seems to be getting more attention, is our focus on causality, right? I say, look, everyone else is doing descriptive, we're doing prescriptive, everyone else is doing, non-causal, we're doing causal. This is like a step change in capabilities. And then they ask, well, how is your causality different? And I say, well, we have these structural causal models, and we're able to kind of, we're experimenting with the idea of transferring learning from one causal model to another. At what point do you think we could start to either recruit or engineer or focus on more of the causality, specifically in regards to latent attributes, and then across experiments, and what do we need in order to focus on that?
This is a rough idea. I'm not sure if it makes sense, but we could do something like this. So let's say from next week onwards, every experiment you run, we include latent variable, right? So latent variable means attitudes. So then if we have enough of it, and then if we just weight that, okay, this was the title of the study, so basically the context, and then we had these kind of attitudinal variables tested, and then they mean this in terms of output. So whatever, these kind of people with this set of mindset are less price sensitive than others, whatever, right? So you feed all these things, and then maybe the first pass will be, okay, so now that an LLM knows all these things, can you make some sort of conclusion if you ask a question, like, if I have this much knowledge and I want to do this, what do you think it will imply, and why do you think? base base it on whatever you know so far. So something like that. And then maybe the next step will be you give access to all the statements itself, along with how much significant each statement was in measuring those dimensions. So then it's like, okay, maybe start giving you better statements going forward, and probably even define better statement for something it hasn't seen, because now it has seen so much of that data. So something of that sort can be a initial attempt.
The the recursive experimentation, the 5 whys. Do we have causal models
And
on the latent variable? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I mean, even before that, right? To at least to investors who don't know much, right? So, give an example of, let's say, other AI platform, right? Like the way, let's say, Michelle mentioned, right? So you can do concept testing, and then it's like, okay, you asked a question, you got some numbers, right? But generally, they will give you one point estimate. So the first thing itself will give you all the range, and then we can also now build a model on those ratings, which nobody is doing. And then you can also, let's say, if you have tested for 8 or 9 statements, you can run a PC algorithm on that to figure out if there is a DAG within that 9 statement. So it's like maybe there is a starting node and there is an ending node. So rather than, if you had to improve something, rather than improving every statement little by little, you just focus on one which is on the top and you improve that, and then that basically trickles down and improve everything. So then we can show those kind of simulations. Uh, so these are some other way we can differentiate ourselves. It's not in the platform yet, but we can have it as a, even in the presentations for now. I mean, it's going to come on the platform, but this is one thing we'll be doing. So once we have a basic way of showing the concept number, for example, then comes the estimation part, where same as the discrete choice experiment page, we'll show, okay, for every statement statistically, who is saying positively, who is saying negatively, right? So that if you, so that's one piece. And then basically do the PC to create a DAG on the statement. And then after that, basically have a simulation like, okay, what if 20% more people say positive, one scale positive about this statement? How does that implies in terms of final thing? So then people can play with this. So just within the concept testing itself, we can differentiate ourselves with these 3 or 4 additional things.
When I think about that description of building a model on the um, concept testing statements, that sounds almost identical to building a model on the latent variables in the discrete choice.
Yes and no, because in the discrete choice, you already know, let's say if you have 10 statements, that these 5 goes together and the other 5 goes together. Here you have no ideas, but at the same time, you can't perform the complete exploration. So you just let the whole thing decide. And anyway, people who come up with the concept, like do concept testing, they're not looking to know if there is a latent dimension that exists. They just want to know what statement best captured this concept.
Well,
And then
yeah,
if I have to improve, so different things have different needs.
but I'm thinking about it just from like from an engineering standpoint,
Mm-hmm.
right? To minimize the number of data flows that we have. Can our because right now, as far as I understand, the latent variable causality components, the analytics on the latent variables are not completed.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a way to reuse the causal models on the concept testing for the causal models for latent variables? If we squint.
We can, but it won't happen in 2 minutes, even with 20 core machine, 30 core machine. So it's doable, but it's gonna take at least an hour or two to get the estimation done, even with 10 statement. That's just the nature of the estimation.
I need to let's sit offline. I want to understand that because
Mm.
the idea of generating data in 2 minutes and then analyzing it over 60 minutes just feels like, uh, you know, overfitting.
I mean, there is a reason that these things are still sold by companies, right? Where
Right.
you sell and then you take time to build, right? Ask Michelle, if it was straightforward and could have been done in 20 minutes, people would have been giving you structural equation models for free. There is a reason none of them exist as a pre-package in Python. People would have just ran and got the output. So these things just take time. There's no other way around it.
And they take time because we're doing backdoor adjustment, front door adjustment, on every set of variables.
No, not that. It's just because the dimension of integration is high and it's an open integration. So, and then you need to solve that through importance sampling. So it's like, think of like an RNN. There is no way you can parallelize it.
Right.
Until you know the previous
Right.
thing, you can't do the other thing. That's the importance sampling in a recursive nature.
But RNNs are stochastic. Causal models need to be non-stochastic.
No. I'm giving the example of RNN to show that no matter how big your machine is, just because of the nature of the computation, until you know the previous word, you can't do the calculate the next word in RNN based encoder decoder architecture. It's the same thing. So if you're solving a normal distribution CDF, which is 5-dimensional, it can only be solved using importance sampling. And the way it works is, you say, I see the first dimension, it has this value. And then you have to say, given this is the first dimension value, this is the second. So you need to know it previously, and you can only go in a sequence. You can't just jump from one to other.
So it's not even parallelizable.
So that's the best analogy I can give you, solving a normal distribution CDF to a typical machine learning problem.
Are there closed form solutions?
No, they are not, right? That's why you need importance sampling.
Got it. Okay. Well.
But even though it takes time, if we show we can do it, we have 1 or 2 full-fledged examples pre-run. At least that shows people we can do it, and it's just a matter of time.
If you have a class on this that I can take, I would be willing to take a class on it.
There's no class I can show that in an Excel. Sometime there is just books like from 2000, 2002 with pure math showing how it's done.
I can read.
I'll send you. There's a paper by 2 Russian mathematicians on their name itself is the name of the paper.
Okay, I'll check it out. Well, that's exciting. That's exciting.
Just going to drop this Wikipedia link. So this is basically the general algorithm which can be used to solve any open dimensional integral.
Oh, Subodh, you're the best. You're the best. Okay, I'm gonna go put this on the other window. Thank you, Subodh, for teaching me, as always. I always feel like whenever I chat with you, I simultaneously know more and less.
All right, that's it. I think I'm done.
Go to Deepika next.
Good morning. So as already told, I've been working on the concept UI fix, and I need to fix 4 5 issues. I've prepared layout and everything, but it's like when I try to fix it with the data, I get so many errors. So I'm working on that and how to update colors according to our themes and everything. So that's it from my side.
Can we see something today, Deepika? Whatever you have.
Yeah, we can see it. I'll try to
Okay.
fix that at the the end of, so I can show you.
Good.
Okay.
Thank you. Let's go to Hadi next.
Hello everyone, happy Monday. So this week, Subodh asked me to work on state management. Although I have a PR for that, it was all it didn't get merged for the state management because Mehul made a lot of change and shuffled the whole step also. I couldn't merge that time. Like if Pragna will have time, we can work together. If not, I will do that this week. That's
Sit
it.
with Pragna, Hardy. That's one of the points. So she also gets familiar with it. So please sit with her. Maybe she has another solution. So two brains better than one situation.
Okay.
And you can guys get a 24-hour development cycle going on.
Yeah. Okay. That's it.
Let's go to Nihar next.
Happy Monday, guys. Good morning. Sorry for joining late. In terms of what I did last week is basically I was working on Subodh's LinkedIn code, and halfway we got to know that there's a lot of backend issues going on the EC2 side. So I've been just debugging that. But then as we have deployed it on the holodeck on the Versal side, there's been a lot of domain configuration issues and also a lot of NGX backend issues that are going on currently. And while debugging, it shows that there's a lot of timeout complications that we have created for different code bases. At the back end, it's a different timeout. At the front end, we have a different timeout. So that's why code base is failing a lot. In terms of solving the issue, the problem is I'm trying to get into the instance of the holodeck, but somehow the AWS is failing and not letting me in. I'm trying to do an SSH on the local side also to go and try to see if I can debug the holodeck, and it's not working for me, but it's surprisingly working for Marty. So the other solution that I only have right now for me to work on my side is to actually deploy holodeck again on AWS, which is not the right path, but at least this will be some kind of a working solution for me to see and depict what is the exact error. Not then just make sure that we have it on Versal and then may be able to resolve on the Versal side. So that's the task for me this week. Moving away from AWS and trying to see that if everything is working fine on Versal, just configure the domain configuration of holodeck on the Versal side and then make everything run Riobom on the back end on the AWS. And simultaneously also work on the code base that Subodh has given so that we have scraping for LinkedIn profile in the best possible format that can be inbuilt in the back end of Riobom.
Um, so Nihar, on the LinkedIn code, I perfected it whatever I could, and there's nothing more we could do. So
Okay.
I was asking to you if you know of any uh, legally correct way of scraping LinkedIn. That's my question
Okay.
to you.
I'm just out making it more, what do you say, performative in terms of getting the JSON format and then
Mm.
basically making sure that where we can plug in at the back end for Riobom. So that's what I was working on. But then it just like kind of like shifted gears to the errors
Yeah,
that we're
yeah. So
getting.
leave that part because I did both of it. So I
Okay.
scrape everything from get into whatever JSON, and from that I get the meaningful stuff out automatically. So I did both that thing. So we can.
So do we have it on Riobom?
We don't, but I'll integrate that tomorrow morning. I'll
Okay.
create a new endpoint and we can just have it.
Okay.
I'll have to sit with Marty for this because we'll probably have to have a database now to store all these
Correct.
JSON things.
Correct. Correct.
Supabase just gave
Uh,
us a bunch of money. If you want to use that, it's about.
Yeah, so
Correct.
I'll sit with Marty. I'll see if we can save text data into that. If not, then Postgres will save it. So I'll send you even an example. I can drop it here quickly, how it looks now. But continue.
Somebody had another question.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Nihar, if you want to sit and review the DNS instances, I think we have like a lot of DNS stuff going on.
Mhm.
And I think like spinning down the Duplo cloud and instances in AWS and cleaning up the Duplo cloud DNSs may help, but I'm like 10% confident.
Okay. Okay. Uh, like first target is to first of all do the domain configuration for the Vercel on holodeck. That's the first goal. Once that is set up, then we can look into the other DNS configurations. Uh, that's the only thing right now because at the backend side for the Riobam, once the DNS configuration for the holodeck is done, I have to create TCP links that are directly going to the Vercel link so that every login process, every chats that are happening on create experiments and everything are getting called to the right backend and to the right front end.
Why don't we just have 3 instances in Vercel?
Backend code on Vercel?
Yeah. Oh, Madi?
We can have one repo and 3 branches for 3
Environments.
like
Yep.
environment.
Like in Vercel, we can have preview, we can have staging, and we can have production. These are 3
Yeah.
different branches that we can have.
Dev
And
test
that 3
prod, yeah.
different branches will always have a different domain links. But for production, at least to work for at least to showcase app.dev, I need to get the domain configuration set up right now. Because right now the Nginx is failing on it is going back to AWS, and we want it on Vercel.
I mean, Vercel was the reason we tried going to Vercel was because we thought it was going to be easier to set up than AWS because everything's working on AWS. And so if trying to, if Vercel, if we can't get it up on Vercel in like a day or two, then just scrap Vercel and just keep using AWS. Like we don't, the objective was to use Vercel to streamline this process, but it seems like Vercel has its own like tricky little issues.
Vercel deployment was successful. The only thing we need to add at the back end is a domain configuration of the app.dev. That's the only part, and that's just manual stuff. We need to just configure the CNAME and everything. That's it. Again, like that's another process that we have to do it again, but that sorts out the issue.
Okay,
I don't
all
know.
right.
Do you agree on this, Marty? Because I think that's the only part that I'm seeing at the error side because it's going back to the uh, Nginx on the EC2. That's why it's failing. If we configure the domain rightly for holodeck, which is on the Vercel, then we are good to go.
I totally agree. We need to have only on Vercel and not AWS. And if we connect the domain, then um, it will work and we'll have it up and running.
Like, because it will never have its own NGX timeout problem. Vercel doesn't have that issue, so that will solve that kind of thing. Um,
Nihar and Marty, one question here.
sure.
Marty, when that day when you called the like when you ran end to end, right? So whenever it called the attributes endpoint, we had an error, and the error was basically with Databricks endpoint, right? Saying you cannot query that foundation model.
No, that was not Madi.
Yes.
This is not what Madi was getting. This was coming because in the code base we have
Mhm.
few static variables set it as none, which is in string, and the Databricks is expecting an integer. That's why it was failing. But the Databricks, when I tried to hit it manually on my backend, it was running fine. That was something that we have added on our code base to expect the score in, let's just say, zero or half or none. For none, it should be zero. We are keeping it none. That's why, because of that kind of confusion, the API was failing.
But we don't pass any such number. Like we just pass like a prompt.
No, I debugged it and I saw that we
Okay.
pass score, and the score comes from our side also, and then we also match it with the Databricks. Databricks comes in integers and we are passing in string. That's why there's a mismatch and it fails.
But then how come if the no code change has happened on that front and it works in production and now it's suddenly just not happening?
So the issue was this. I'm not sure about Nihar's
Yeah.
issue, but that day that we debugged, the issue was that we were pointing to the wrong instance in Databricks, and we changed that,
Right.
and the attributes and labels worked, right?
Okay. But I thought you
Yeah.
messaged me last
So
that it is still failing somewhere when it's using Databricks endpoint.
worked in the labels, it worked, but it didn't work in the conjoint. So when we were
Okay.
calling
Doing the
the
survey with that.
experiment,
Okay. Hmm.
yeah, we were running experiment, it was not working. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I mean, I did see a message from them, still nothing about 3.7, but 4, saying that for 4 they have increased the throughput. So maybe I test tomorrow. I'm guessing maybe we have set in the maximum worker in thread pool to be based on number of CPU minus 1. So maybe we are calling that parallel execution with like 14 or 13 threads, given we have 16 CPUs. And that is basically leading to too many requests, and it's getting 400 or 437, I'm guessing, in the survey part then. So maybe set the thread pool a number of users to like 2 or 3 and run. If it runs, then we know it is because of the throughput issue. And yeah, so they sent some email over the weekend. I read. I'll test tomorrow if what they are saying finally is it working or not. So we will know. But I'm guessing, Mari, that could be a reason why then it's failing in the survey. Otherwise, there's nothing that should cause it to fail.
Yeah, I think let's debug and see why
Yeah.
it's failing. Also, Avi, recently I'm getting an issue with 1DB and it's blocking my IP address. So if I can have a VPN or something, so I can.
Yes, sir. I'll send you a VPN account momentarily.
In browser, I use like free VPNs, but I'm not sure how I can use free VPN on desktop.
I'll send you our PIA account.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Let's go to Pragna next.
Yeah, so earlier I'd connected with Hardy and he was helping me understand the gaps in the UI in terms of like the state management and persistent issues. And also he was explaining that different libraries were used to fix the issues in the user flow. So we are going to be working together to either like use one library, like unify the code, and also to um, figure out all the gaps with the persistence and like fix it. So I'll connect with him after this, and then we'll be doing that. That's it for me.
Thank you. So Alcolast, this week I really want to finish the analytics team recruiting process. I think there is no point in like waiting for more candidates. That's that. And I checked in the weights and biases during the weekend. All the experiments that were run, well, in production, obviously, there weren't like any issues with the R shining or like the analytics. But I'll keep an eye on it, and if there's like anything that needs fixing, I'll do that. Yeah, that's on my side. But have I accidentally skipped anyone?
Wait, I have a question.
Mhm.
In dev analytics, are we showing the latent variables?
I'll say it this way. If in the dev, if I'm sent the variables that I need, the latent variable, there's a completely new tab, it will show up.
Nice.
It's not showing up because I don't get the correct information.
Got it.
The additional things that I need, additional parameters that I need.
And what's preventing us from sending you the right parameters in dev?
The time it will take to collect all the response. So until the Databricks promise comes through, it will add around 12-13 minutes just for the latent variable part of the LLM calls.
The latent variables are supposed to be quick. It's supposed to be 10 seconds.
No, it's not.
It's going to be an extra 12 minutes?
If we do the throughput we have, so if the Databricks promise happens, then it will come down to a minute or two probably.
The latent variables, I feel like the latent variables and the causality and the latent variables is like our whole differentiator. Not our whole differentiator, but like another big differentiator. I should be more precise. Okay, cool. Would it be helpful, Subodh, for me to get give a gentle nudge to the Databricks folks, or do you have it under control?
No, they did reply. That's what I'm saying. They replied over the weekend that they have increased the quota for Claude 4. So I have to test that. I'll probably get test tomorrow.
Okay, nice job. That would be like an exciting update for folks. An exciting. I don't know if it's a press release, but whatever. Okay, great.
Do we have any demos for Monday?
I can show you whatever I have updated for Concept UI.
Yeah, sure.
So I haven't fixed everything. I'm still getting a lot of error. Okay, so I have put some states on the top to understand easily, like how many responded we have, then response, then average net sentiments, and then completion rate, and also change this part. I need to change this map actually. I've tried some of the maps, but it didn't work, so I'll just put it back, the old one right now. And this is also I need to improve. It's breaking right now. So this also I've converted in the graphs with the count, so we can show like out of 100 responded how many we can just categorize by gender, education level, age group, help customers understand. And this is I have changed, which is also breaking right now. And I need to fix that. This also I've updated. It's the same issue going on. I think I need to put some unique ID for this collapsible things. So this is with the image and the user, if user gives image and instruction both. Then it's the same for if there is no image, but Like I need to do something about this, otherwise everything else is same. And for the A/B testing, so this will change. Like we can show the average score for variant A, B, and then we can show that which one people think that it's better. And the same we can just like this section will be same population in demographics. And yeah, it's breaking right now, but I thought that for the graph we can show similar to this thing. Either we can just put values side by side, or we can show something like that.
I think we
And
put side by side.
like this, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I did, but I was trying to actually update the data, and I changed something in the result JSON, and it's not working anymore. Same for net sentiment. Like we can compare data like this, that which one is better. And okay, so
So
with
in the graph, we are showing the proportion, right? Like how many people said 1 and 2 and the 3, right? Because we are showing the numbers anyway, like in the bar. No, up. So if up. So let's say take any statement, right? So take the first statement. This product would solve a real world, right? So we already know the score 3.7 to 3.45. So then in the graph, you will be showing the proportion of people who reported 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, right?
yes,
Yeah.
okay. So this is what I need to change colors. I mean, I know this is not according to our theme, but that's all. So any feedback? No?
I like it a lot. It's some
Good.
good progress there.
Yeah, I think it looks great. It's a lot of progress quickly. Feeding all of this, new data to an LLM on top, or the chat agent, I think will add a lot of value to the users.
Do you have the screenshot, Deepika, which you shared with me, like how the demographics are shown? If not, I can show from mine so that people get an idea how it will look, because this looks really good. And then we can probably copy the same in the other part of our dashboard.
Okay, I think I'll share it with Hadi. You want me to share it in the group chat?
No, if you just show it on the screen itself, it's fine. If you have that screenshot with you. If not, I can share because you did send it to me.
Okay. You can share because
Okay.
I've only shared one screen, so I won't be able to share it. Okay.
Can you guys see my screen? So
Yeah.
this is what Deepika had sent me. So this is how, right? So simply rather than saying gender, male and female, the way we show, we'll show basically what is the proportion. In the bracket, we'll also put the count so that it also gives a more descriptive feeling of how the population looks.
Oh, this
Because
is
we
nice,
do
and
get,
you can
yeah,
get more data in one screen this way.
yeah, yeah. And it also looks, I mean, feels easy to read.
Yeah. And we can use this for the discrete choice dashboard as well.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. So once this thing is fixed, we can probably use something similar in the discrete choice part analytics side as well.
Do we have okay, beautiful, and then again, do we have latent variable distribution as well?
It's not here, but like once the graphics is fixed, it will be the same thing.
Okay. Very nice, Deepika. Very nice work.
Thank you. I think we can fix all this once we get the proper data from backend too. Like we can just put all together nicely.
Yeah, it sounds like
But
you're. Oh, sorry, Subodh.
no, but it's still the you should not be dependent on the back end. You know the format, right? Now, just make the dummy data and fix it, right? Why you should really rely on the back end?
Yeah, Deepika, you tell us what the data looks like. You tell us what data
Because
you need.
if you run one experiment, you get one set of output, right? And then another will take time to run again. So just create 3, 4 dummy data variants. Basically the one which has everything. So that's like the biggest container size you can have.
What does she know what the latent variable object is going to look like?
But not to Deepika. Let her do this thing first. I
Okay,
mean,
okay,
it's just a matter of changing the text.
okay. It looks great. It looks really good.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. I love a live demo. Deepika, that's very brave of you.
Why?
Giving a live demo, when it's always it's always risky. So thank you for being bold.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Do we have any more demos?
I can show a little bit more on the LinkedIn side. Like once we scrape, uh, what do we get? So I'm going to drop this link. This is from one of the projects we are doing with Look Across. So this is the LinkedIn ID. So if you go to this LinkedIn ID, and I've also put the same file here, and then you will see that we are able to scrap pretty much everything meaningful from that profile. So we
Oh,
get every experiences that individual has, the education, whatever we can get, any license certification in terms of post, what was the post, was it original, when was it posted, some stat on the post. I'm just taking 5 for now, but we can increase to 10, 15. So with this, yeah, in whatever's wherever available, skill, location, we are able to get. In this case, yeah, we get everything, which university, which degree, which year, we get everything. So yeah, like once this is considered legal, then we are good to go. If not, at least even on the side, we know you give me a LinkedIn URL and I can get the whole thing, and basically we can feed and run the experiments.
that's great. I mean,
Subodh, sorry.
Mhm.
I was just gonna throw in an interesting thing that I learned about. I did a demo or like a call with Emporia, and they're doing 1 to 2 hour interviews with B2B, like real
Mhm.
people to
Mhm.
build their B2B personas. So I think they're
Yeah, I
doing
mean,
some data scraping as well, but I need to review my notes from that. But yeah, that was interesting. Oh, interesting. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, I think the data that, I mean, just by starting with a human interview like that could be, so much richer than just a LinkedIn scraped profile, because you've got the facts, of what their history was on LinkedIn. But if you throw in that, that qualitative, opinions about how they feel about purchasing products, and, what are their emotional drivers behind why they make their choices or don't, then that's, there's some real power in that. So exciting.
If we get funding, yes.
Yeah.
But that's the
Yeah.
thing, nobody will pay upfront. Like they will like, okay, show us you already have, and then we'll pay something. That's basically is the story. But it's fine, right? If Emporia has it, like we say, okay, we can get the customer and we can do the whole quantitative experiments, and we just then pay them and get the yeah the persona part from them, which is also fine. We don't need to have everything in our disposal, at least at the moment. So one more question, Michelle. Do we know like if they already have those things, those B2B agents, and they have started selling it, or is it still they are doing it?
I need to get a little more clarity on that. I think they're selling it at this point, like pilots. They're selling it as pilots. Yeah, as a pilot program, and then you have to pay per persona that they do the interviews with.
Mm-hmm.
Is my understanding. So because they have to pay the humans, to do the interviews and stuff. So yeah. I'm going to get more information. I need to get more information on it. So I'm going to do that. Yeah, if you can do it, that would be great. Subconscious can do it. That'd be great. I think I can. I think I can. I think there's a lot of interest in B2B. There's a lot of need there, again, because it's so hard to get in touch with, especially high level executives in B2B. It's just you can't get it easily other ways, like traditional ways. So I think there's a big appetite for it.
See you guys. Bye bye.
Have a good week.